Good evening. I am Ragnarok, the end of all things. Tonight, the shadows have gifted us with a tale, and by its end, we shall decide freedom or the void. Tonight's story comes to us by way of r/RPGHorroStories from user 2Trash8Bag1, titled, Our D&D Group Had to Remove a Player Because of Alcohol. All names are fake. I, 27 male, play D&D with a group of friends once or twice a month. For almost a year, it's been a highlight for us, until one member, let's call him Mike, 29 male, started causing more problems than fun. From the start, we suspected he wasn't really into the game itself. He never bought dice, trays, or even his own mini. We had to get those for him. He was constantly glued to his phone during combat, roleplay, and group decisions. Same behavior outside the game too, like bar nights, dinners, even his own birthday where he'd just scroll on his phone while we were all hanging out. The first big aha moment came during one session. He took massive damage in combat. When asked his HP, he stalled, got defensive, and finally admitted he'd written a giant question mark on his character sheet instead of tracking it. Vince, 29 male, or the DM, recalculated it for him and found he had exactly 1 HP left. When his turn came, he was still scrolling his phone, and I finally snapped, with me yelling to him to put the damn phone down. He scrolled, he rolled, without even knowing what for. He was a cleric and could have healed himself. Instead, he attacked the enemy as if didn't even seem aware of his own abilities. That's when we realized he wasn't engaged, he was just there. Now, here's where alcohol enters the picture. I like mixing cocktails, so when I started bringing recipes and ingredients to sessions as a fun side thing. But to avoid anyone getting sloppy at my parents' house where I host, I set a 2-drink rule. First time I explained this, Mike, again, was just on his phone, looking like he wasn't paying attention. I asked another friend in our group, William, 30 male, to repeat the rule to Mike. Mike snapped at William, yelling, "I fucking heard it the first time, I'm not deaf," just because William repeated it for him. That should have been a red flag, but we brushed it off. Next session was at another group member and friend, Cam's, 27 male's, house. Mike kept bugging me for drinks I couldn't make with the limited ingredients since it wasn't at my parents' house. He had too many anyway. Grabbed one of Ray's, 27 male, my brother's beers without asking, and only stopped when I called him out. He got defensive, saying he knew his limits and wasn't as reckless as he used to be. Spoiler, that was a lie. At the following session, now back at my place, I went all out. Made a themed cocktail menu, even bought a blacklight board to display it. I put so much effort into this idea and I was thrilled to show it off to everyone. Before everyone started showing up early that afternoon, Mike had asked if he could bring a case of high noons for the group, which I said yes, not knowing what would happen that night. Before I even announced the bar was open, he cracked one during dinner. Then he and William proceeded to down the entire case, leaving my drink sidelined. Mike even tried to double fist with a high noon while I served him a cocktail, so I took it away from him and put it back in the fridge. Later the next morning, he texted me, saying, "Thanks for looking out for me, but can you stop treating me like I'm in pre-K?" basically implying that trying to keep him from over-drinking at my parents' house was me treating him like a child. When I talked to William about them drinking the high noons instead of my drinks, he apologized for following Mike's lead, and also explained that he didn't want to be annoying like Mike, asking me to make him a drink every 10 minutes. It did make sense to me, and I accepted his apology. But when William told Mike why I was upset, Mike dismissed my feelings with him saying, "Why didn't he just say something? He's wasting everyone's time. I didn't do anything wrong." He framed it like the problem was my lack of directness, not his behavior. We noticed the pattern where he'd deflect, project, or shift blame anytime we brought up issues. It was like talking to a brick wall. So we implemented a new rule, that being that whoever hosts decide if alcohol is allowed. Vince's turn to host came next, and he announced it would be a dry session, something his parents had to say. Mike lost it. Hours before, he texted me complaining that it would ruin the vibe, then said when he picked me up, we'd pregame with drinks and weed. I didn't respond to these messages, so I told Cam about them, and he said that he'll come pick me up instead. In hindsight, this would be the better idea. Cam picked me up and we arrived along with everyone else on time, as we had an 8 p.m. start time, except Mike. As we were waiting for him to show up, me and the rest of the group voiced our frustrations with Mike and talked about removing him from the group. Since he was late, this would be Mike's first strike from Vince, as now Mike is on thin ice with 2 more to go. Eventually, Mike did show up 2 hours later. Mike came into the house and he was reeking of weed, and immediately sat down scrolling his phone. Less than 45 minutes later, he went outside to grab something from his car. William followed him and found him smoking a joint. Strike 2. Minutes later, Mike texted William that he was going to a gas station for water. He came back with a 24-ounce Happy Dad and tried drinking it in the driveway. William confiscated it and brought it inside. That was strike 3. We voted then and there to remove him from the group, and as if it wasn't for Mike's disrespectful showing at Vince's house, that would have been more than enough for his removal. Vince confronted Mike to let him know about his removal, backed up by his dad, who told Mike that if he couldn't respect house rules, he wasn't coming back. Vince then told Mike to leave, but we refused to let him drive because of his obvious condition, so we called a lift. He resisted, saying he was sober enough to drive and wanted to prove it by driving around the block, but we all suspected he just wanted another excuse to leave for more booze. After some arguing, he finally got in the lift. And all of this happened before we even started the campaign. But after Mike left, we all calmed down and started the campaign with no further issues. This night pretty much confirmed our suspicions that Mike only came to the sessions only because he knew there would be alcohol. The next day, we removed him from the group chat as well. Well, far be it from me to judge anyone for wanting to have a good time, but there is a time, place, and limit. And if Mike can't even respect the rules of the house and deflects every time you bring it up, clearly he just wasn't meant to be in this game. Hopefully Mike gets the help that he needs, but until then, he is sentenced to the void. The story ends, but the echoes remain. The verdict has been spoken. The void. Until next time, I am Ragnarok, the end of all things.